Welcome to the part 2 trigonometry. So in part 2, we look into trigonometric function or ratios, and also trigonometric identities and the trigonometry equations. So those are the ones that we'll be looking at in part 2. Now, my advice is still the same. You watch a video from the beginning until the end. That's when you understand it better. Don't jump step by step. So you need to watch step by step. You will enjoy the video. Okay, so the identities, that is the first part that we'll look into. So I'll say identities. So we'll be looking at what we call the identities. Now, since we'll be dealing with what we call with the identities, the first identity that we need to take note of are what we call the basic identities. So when it comes to what we call the basic identities, these are also what we call the reciprocals, right? Because are what we call the identities. Now, I want you guys to look at this. The first thing that you need to take note of, or I could say our A, right, is that when we say cosec theta is equal to 1 over sine theta, or when I say B, when I say sec theta, it is just same as 1 over cos theta. When I say cot, so when it comes to cot, it is 1 over tan theta and is also equal to cos theta over sine theta. When it comes to what we call tan theta, so tan theta, it is just the same as sine theta over cos theta. So these are what we call the basic identities. So these are just the basic identities. But when it comes to these two, the two, it's what we call fundamental identities. So these are what we call fundamental identities. So the fundamental identities, these are divided into 5. The first fundamental identity, it is this one, which you say sine squared theta plus cos squared theta. The answer is supposed to be what? 1. So that is the first fundamental identity. And the second identity, it is what we call, I'm just making the subject of the formula, right? So sine squared theta, it is equal to, when cos comes this side, so it will be 1 minus what? Cos squared what? Theta. When it comes to the other one, which is cos, when I say cos theta, it is just same as what? 1 minus sine squared theta. When it comes to the number 4 one, what I'll do is that I have sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1. So what I'll do is that I'll divide everything with sine. Let me divide everything with the sine. Now, sine divided by sine, the answer is 1. But if I have cos theta over sine theta this side, so cos over sine, what's the answer? It is cot. So meaning that there it is what? Cot squared theta is equal to 1 over sine. What is 1 over sine? Cosec. So this is what we call cosec what? Squared theta. So this tells me that whenever I see cosec squared, not just cos, but cosec squared is equal to 1 plus cot squared theta. That's what it is representing. Okay, now let's look at the last one, which is when I do sine squared theta plus cos squared theta is equal to 1. Now what I'll do is that I'll divide everything with cos. I've divided everything with what? Cos. Even this side I've also divided with what? Cos. Cos squared. So when you see that, you'll be able to see that when I divide here, where you have sine squared theta over cos squared theta, you shall see that sine is on top, then cos is down. That's what we call tan. But we'll put squared because they are both of them what? Squared. Then when I add there, the answer is what? 1. Then what is 1 over cos? 1 over cos, it is this part here which is sec. So I'll say sec squared. Why sec squared? Because cos down here is what? Squared. So this is what it means. Now if you look at this part, so sec squared theta is equal to tan squared theta plus 1. So this is the fifth identity that we really need to know when it comes to that. Okay, now let's look at the other types of the identities that we need to take note of, are what we call compound angles identities. So these are what we call compound angle identities. These identities, it's very much easy for everyone to be able to understand them, because if you don't understand them, it will be very hard for you to answer these kind of the identities. Okay, the first identity, which is 1, it is what we call sine A plus B, which end up to have to be sine A cos B plus. So here it is plus, so even here it will also be what? Plus, like that, positive, then cos A, then sine what? B. So that is identity. And another one, if I have sine A minus B, what will be the identity? The main identity will be sine A cos B, then minus. Why minus? Because here there is what? A minus. Then it will be cos what? A, then sine B. Now, how about if you have this kind of identity? Let me use theta because that is the theta. Okay, if you have sin²θ, what does this represent? It represents that you have theta plus theta. So you have theta plus theta. The answer is what? 2θ, like that. So this tells us that you have sin theta, then cos theta, then plus cos theta, then what? Sin what? Theta. So this means that this part and this part are the same. Then you end up to have 2 sin theta and what? Cos theta, because they are the two which are the what? The same. So this tells us that when you see sin²θ is equal to that, that's what it represents here. Okay, now let's also go to the other questions. Let's go to another identity, which is cos. So we have cos A plus cos B. So for this one, it changes. Its identity, it is cos A cos B. Now here it is positive, meaning it will be negative. So it will be cos, or it will be, the other one will be sine. Sorry for that. To be sine A and also sine what? B. So that is how it is. Then how about if you have cos, then A minus B. So you will be cos A cos B, then plus. Here there's a negative, so to be plus cos, plus. So that one will be sine A and sine what? B. And when you look at the other one, if you have sin²θ, this means that it will be cos theta plus theta. So this simplifies to be cos theta, then cos theta minus, right? Because this is positive, so it will be minus sin theta and sin theta. So cos theta times cos theta, you shall say that here it will be cos²θ minus sin²θ. So this tells me that cos²θ is equal to that. So that is the differences that you need what? To take note of when it comes to this kind of the identity. Okay, now let's go to the last but not the least, the identity, which is number 3. So we are on number 3 about tan. So tan A plus B, it is just the same as tan A plus tan B, then over 1 minus. Since here it is positive, then down would be minus tan A, then tan what? B, like that. And the other one, if there is subtracting here, this is just same as tan what? A minus tan B over 1 plus tan A and tan B. So those are the differences that you need to take note of, right? So, and the other thing that you need to take note of, it is this one here, tan²θ. So this is just same as tan theta plus tan theta. So what will happen to be tan theta plus tan theta over 1 minus tan theta, then tan what? Theta. So when I add the two, you have 2 tan theta over 1 minus tan theta times tan theta, it will be tan theta squared. So this tells me that when I see tan²θ is equal to 2 tan theta over 1 minus tan²θ. So this is the identity that we need to be taking carefully on these ones, right? So these are the main identities that we need to be having in our minds whenever you have been given that kind of the identities. Okay, now let's look at some examples based on these ones. right? So the examples that they can ask us when it comes to this kind of the identities, here are the main examples that we need to take note of when you have been given these kind of the questions. Okay, so here are the examples which are here. They can say, the first one, they can say simplify the following. So what we're just doing, we're just simplifying, right? We're just simplifying. Now, since we are simplifying, they can say this is our A, and our A, they have given us cos, like that. Now it's x, then they have said tan x minus sec x. When you have been asked to simplify, it means that you have been given something that is too complex, then they want you to simplify that you have been what? Given. So in that situation, you're going to say it will be cos x. What is tan? Tan, it is sine x over cos x minus. This is just same as what? 1 over what? Cos x. So this tells me that I have what we call the denominator, the common denominator. What is the main common denominator in this situation? It is what? Cos. Then cos into cos. The answer is 1 times that. The answer will be sine x minus cos into cos. It's 1 times 1. It is 1. Then what will happen? That this part and this one, they will divide. Then the only thing that I will remain with, it will be sine x minus 1. So this tells me that I have simplified the given what? Question. Now, let's look at another example, right? You may also be given sine x squared, then cos squared, then plus cos to the power 4 plus, just like that. This is x sine. Now, if I may ask, among of these ones, if you check among of this, this, and this, which one is so common? You shall see that the one which is common here, it is cos. So cos is common, meaning that I will just factorize sine squared, cos squared x. When I factorize that one, I'll remain with sine squared x plus, when I remove cos squared, I'll just remain with cos 2x. Then you have cos 2x. Then what is the answer there? The answer is 1. Then is equal to cos 2x. So that is how I can simplify this kind of the questions. Okay, now I've just given out simple questions, right? Let me give out something that is a bit hard, but not that hard. Something that is very what? Simple, right? So if I have 2 sine squared x, then plus what exactly? Sine x minus 3 over what? 1 minus cos squared x minus sine x. So in this situation, what are you going to do? The first thing you check out on top, you see this is squared, and this is sine, and this is constant. So you will see that this, all of it, this is just a quadratic function. Then when you look down here, you shall see that this is also the identity. So what you do, we look for product for the one that is on top, and the sum, and also the factors. So let's look at for the product. 2 times that, 2 times -3, the answer is -6. Then what is the sum? It's 1. So the factors in this situation, it will be 3 and -2. So these are the factors that you need what to take note of. Then what will be the answer now? It will be 2 sine squared x plus 3 sine x minus 2 sine x minus 3 over, what is the identity of this? It is sine squared x minus sine x. So you shall see that I'll do this. That's what I shall do. I'll do this. And what's common on top? The one that is common on top, it is sine x. So what will remain there will remain 2 sine x, then plus 3. What's common? -1. Then this will be what? 2 sine x plus 3. Then over, what's common? Sine x. Then here you remain with sine x minus 1. So what do you do next? The next stage that you do, you get sine x minus 1, which is this minus 1. Then you get n of this. Then you have 2 sine x like that plus 3. Then over sine x, then sine what? X minus 1. So this part and this part, they will divide. Then I'll remain with 2 sine x plus 3 over sine x. This, it will be equal to 2 sine x over sine x plus 3 over sine x. So what will end up to have, you're going to have this part and this part, they'll divide. Then it will be 2 plus, then 1 over sine, it is cosec. So it will be 3 cosec x. That is the answer. Just like that. So that is how you answer that kind of the what? Question. Okay. Now, sometimes again you may be asked to prove. They can say, prove the following. Right? So they can say, prove the following. So, the first one, you can have cot theta plus tan theta equal to cosec theta and sec theta. So we are proving that on your left hand side is equal to the right hand side. So we are proving that on your left hand side is equal to the right hand side. The question is, what do you do in this situation? The first step, when you have this kind of your question, the first step that you do is that you check out the side which is more complex. So the side which is more complex, we'll try by what we can in order to bring it down or to simplify it. That's what we do. So here between this and this side, the one which is more complex is this side. So what I will do, or it is on the left hand side, what I'll do, I'm gonna say to be 2 theta plus tan theta is equal to the right hand side. And what is this cot? What is cot? The cot, it is just the same as the cos theta over sine theta plus, what is tan? Tan, it is sine theta over cos theta. what is the common denominator. So I'll say I'll be equating to right what hand side. What is the common denominator? It is sin theta and cos theta. So if I say sin theta divided by sin theta and cos theta, the answer that I'll have, it is cos. So cos times cos, it will be cos squared theta plus. Then this side again, I'll do the same thing. I'll say cos into sin theta cos theta. Then the answer, this one and that, they'll divide, I'll remain with sin theta. Then I'll multiply with sin theta, then it will be sin what? Squared theta equal to right hand side. So you have cos theta plus sin theta. So this means that the answer is cos theta squared plus sin theta squared. The answer is 1 over sin theta and cos what? Theta equal to right hand side. So this tells me that you have 1 over sin theta times 1 over cos theta equal to right hand side. So after that, what is 1 over sin theta times 1 over cos theta? What is the answer here? You shall see the answer here, it is cosec theta. Then what's the answer there? It is sec theta. So if you see this side, it is equal to the right hand side, which is this side. Then you say, hence what? Proven. That's what you say. Just like that. Okay, now let's do something based on what we call compound angles, right? So it's very much important for us to do something based on compound angles. So examples about the compound angles, the way they'll ask you in this way. You have sin 37, then cos 7 minus cos 37 and sin 7. So if you look at this, this is an identity. Why am I saying it's an identity? Because it is for the sign. How does the sign move? Remember, sign doesn't change the sign, so it's negative here. So meaning that this is A minus B. So what is its identity? It is sin A cos B minus cos B, then sin, those cos A, then sin what? B. So if you see that this identity and this identity are the same, so this tells me that in this situation, my A, it is 37, then my B, it is what? 7. So it tells me that sin 37 minus 7, right? That's what it is telling me. So what is that? Sin what? 37 minus 7, what's the answer? It is 30. And what is sin 30? According to the exact values in part 1, we learned that sin 30 is 1 over 2. That's what we learned. Okay. Now, how about when you have another kind of the question, which is this one, right? So this is B. If you have cos 80, then cos 20 plus sin 80 and sin 20. So this, it tells us that you have cos. So that is cos. If you see, and here if it's plus, meaning that it is cos A minus what? B, because here it is adding. So cos changes. So this is cos A, then cos B, then minus sin A, then sin what? B. So in this situation, you shall see that your A, it is 80, then your B, it is what? 20. So this means that it is cos, then 80 minus 20. Then your answer will be cos²θ, which is just the same as 1 over what? 2. So that is how you answer this kind of the what? Question. Just like that. You're not even supposed to feel that you're not answering the correct answer. So that's how you what? Answer that kind of the what? Question. Right? Sometimes you may be given something like this. Tan. Like that, right? You may be given like so it may be given tan 10 plus tan 20 over 1 minus tan 10 then tan 20. So the only thing that you do, you check out. So if you check this part, it's plus. So tan, its identity is tan ABI is equal to what? Tan what? A plus tan what? B over 1 minus tan A and tan what? B. So let's check out what is our A. Our A it is 10, and what is our B? Our B it is 20. So you just gonna say tan A plus B is equal to what is tan? That is what's A? It is 10 plus what is B? It is 20. Then your answer will be tan 10 plus 20. The answer is what? 30. Then what is that? It is 1 over root of 3. Just like that. So that is how you answer that kind of what? Question when it comes to that. So make sure you like the video, you watch it from the first until the end. That's when you understand it better. Thank you, thank you, thank you.